And we've got the fella right behind. Look at that afro, looking deadly and skinny and ripped back then, Jordy. It was good. But it's bad news, isn't it, when you're like far out? Well, what happened?
Very much so. Very much so.
Good morning, Braz.
Morning, brother. Yeah, no, well, I was fresh 18 then, and them other boys too were fresh 18. Isaac and Michael. Michael's a dad now, so he's got a bit of a bod now. But even Cheddar and Daniel, they're all very skinny. Cheddar's a good couple years older now. Daniel's a bit more experienced in AFL, so he's beefed up. But yeah, that was a pretty wild experience, that first one.
Good vibes. I'm not part of it, and a lot of the listeners wouldn't be too. But I mean, you describe it there. You're really, you're taking the main stage. It's arguably one of the most watched events, sporting games of the whole calendar for the year, in the middle of the MCG. It must be pretty special to kind of even just look back at it. What was it like, that first being I guess starting something for the first time is sometimes a bit daunting, but how did you feel kind of walking out there?
Yeah, I mean, when me and Jamie first and Michael first designed that dance, it was like we got the go ahead that we were going to do this. It was a crazy experience because, we'd never danced in front of 100,000. At that year, we had, I think it was around 85 to 90,000 people that year. And it was just a wild experience. And walking now, I was like, oh my God, like everyone is there. And then, when we did it, Jane took the lead for the first 2 years, and then it was eventually my turn to actually lead the dance and start singing. I've been doing it ever since, and it's evolved into something where the players didn't really do anything. Then they started clapping, then they moved, and then now to the whole playing group involved with everything, from this year's war cry, and it completely changed to where they designed it. They put their big influence and stamp on it, and we just sat back and looked pretty for them. They just did their thing. So it's been a wild journey to see it all grow. It's also been funny to see all of us young fellas kind of change into men at that point, and them also. Funny watching them be, their bodies grow as well. It's not just me getting big. I was like, oh, you're getting big too. That's all right.
Yeah. The AFL, they're a big vessel. They can really dictate some of the messaging. There's a lot of people that follow it culturally, just idolise football, and seeing those kind of things within a very white space. AFL. They've been under the radar. They've got themselves in trouble in times. Presidents of clubs. They can really kind of tiptoe around things. We've still got racism going on in football. What was it like? Was it encouraging to you to see a big organisation that has got to be really delicate with their culture to take a stance like that on the stage, where only a few years beforehand or around that time, Adam Goodes was treated like absolute garbage for showing his culture, but then only minutes later it feels like the AFL are using their body and their messaging to say, we want to change kind of the perception of what we think and the way we kind of we want our relationship to change with Indigenous peoples. Are you encouraged by things like that, because you work in another space as well outside of sport and going for big change? Was that a really helpful thing to see a big organisation like the AFL actually do something about it?
Yeah, it was. It was really encouraging that Richmond did take the leap. Richmond been leading in a lot of areas in AFL. They were the first to introduce the Indigenous jumpers. So Mundurra's walking in. Do you want to come on, Mundurra?
Yeah.
Do you want to come say hello? Uncle Troy's on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Mundurra too later today.
And so they took the leap to do a lot of these changes.
You didn't say hi to.
Come here, come say hello. I know, come say hello.
I love it.
So Richmond have been, they've been leading in so many areas. For them to take the leap, and to actually do this and reach out to us was pretty special. And to give me, fresh 18-year-old, the reins was also pretty empowering. So, I loved it. They've been awesome to work with, Richmond. They really have. They've really embedded us into the playing group to work with them, mold them, and when I mean playing group, I mean everybody. To the biggest stars, to the rookies, everyone was, has been involved. So, I've been incredibly lucky to be involved in that club in this way.
You're born and raised on Wathaurong country. I can see you got the Wathaurong Co-op. What do you do for a crust when you're not kind of dancing around the MCG? Aside from looking after this deadly fella, Mundurra. How are you, little fella? You gonna talk? Are you in the talk? Are you talking yet this morning?
Are you gonna talk? Say hi, everyone.
Say hello. Everyone's looking at you. Everyone's looking at you and going, cool. Look at little Dara.
Say hi, everyone.
Have you had breakfast yet?
Have you had brekkie?
Have you had breakfast?
No, you haven't. You need to go have brekkie.
Go have breakfast and then come back with your breakfast.
Go.
You grew up on Wathaurong country, Brazil. Maybe a lot of people are aware of you. If not, what do you do? Have you been? I know you got Wathaurong. I heard of first of all from Wathaurong, aside from the co-op, with Wathaurong Glass, and that's your family too, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Nutri-Grain, there you go. You had to be enticed by food to get out.
Lockie Edwards is on here saying hello too, bros.
So Wathaurong Glass, Wathaurong, the cooperative. You see our logo here.
Yeah.
This side because it's near. Wathaurong Cooperative was started by, my grandfather and the rest of my uncles and aunties were all involved back, 42 years ago now. And it was a place for Aboriginal people in the Geelong region and surrounds to have a place to connect, and we can kind of self-govern ourselves and always make sure that culture is connected and country is looked after. And that's how the co-op really started. And it started mainly through the Stolen Gen programs to bring people back to country and take them on their journey. So that's how the co-op really got started. And, it's just grown into this, from doing meetings at, on Eastern Beach, after the pub would finish, working on the docks there, to, now 170 plus staff over 3 different buildings. It's a pretty amazing journey. We're really, large organisation. It's been awesome to watch. And we do have Wathaurong Glass as a business entity, which my dad's brother, Uncle Mark Edwards, he runs that. So he's been building that from the ground up, and it's become a beast in itself. That glass work is all over the world, in celebrity houses, there's one in Oprah's house. There's
True.
It's been really awesome to see that grow too. So, and what I do at Wathaurong, I'm the traditional and culture advisor there. So I make sure the org is being culturally appropriate on all levels, and how does culture be embedded with all of our programs?
Big gig. And you've been part of the co-op in, some kind of formal way through your family, even though you might be a little youngster that can't remember. But where's Wathaurong Co-op at now? And I know you're not the CEO, a deadly fella. Simon Flagg could probably speak a little bit more authority on this topic, but I mean, you're as well placed as any just to know how the co-op's going. But I mean, also, I've got a lot of Geelong listeners on that aren't Indigenous. How does Wathaurong Co-op fit into general Geelong, Wathaurong regional and the surrounds climate? I mean, it's a real heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, Wathaurong is, we're the largest employer of Aboriginal people in the Geelong and regions area. We service over close to 3,000 people. Both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal. We've got a range of programs. We fit in pretty much every box there is. Disability, aged care, child care, early years, mental health, everything. We fit everywhere. So just normal doctors, nurses. The co-op is kind of fits everywhere. And we've got partnerships with a lot of different organisations, and trying to build that. We're in a really good place. The Wathaurong, we had a pretty crap time, 10 years of bad governance and both on a board level and within the org. And with my dad coming on, only Wendy Brabham coming on, only Judy Dalton coming on, they really turned the org around and pulled it back into community's hands. And without them and bringing Lisa Briggs in to stabilise us, we probably wouldn't have. We probably would have gone to administration. Which is that would have been hard to see. So Lisa came in, stabilised us, and then gave the mantle to Flaggy and Simon ran with it, and which is good, amazing. His mum was one of the founding members. He's a community lad, and to now be at the helm is something incredibly special. So we're in a really good spot. We're in a really, really good spot. We've just employed 7 new community engagement team. They're awesome. They're getting out there. So anyone need anything, the community engagement are always there. We in the office to have a yarn to and talk about what we're doing. So we're in a really awesome spot.
Yeah, it's great to hear. Thanks, man. I know you're not the person to be speaking about Wathaurong the final say, but it's really nice to be able to hear some things. And I'm sure a lot of people. I mean, we've got some people here that were at the Geelong Ball. That love to know more about Wathaurong, so I appreciate that. You then shortly after, a week after, MC'd. It was certainly not as big as the MCG crowd, but got to MC the Victorian ADOC Ball, which would have been such a highlight. But it's not the first time you've gotten up and spoken on a serious moment. And I want to just play this clip. It's your first maiden speech as a delegate and of the First People's Assembly of Victoria. So everyone, please watch your screens right now. This is the deadly fella rocking up in the Queen's space.
Call on Jordan Edward.
Nureen, Narieg Jordan Kumara Edwards, Kirai Rodong, Pik Rodong, Wathaurong, Ba Arrernte, Bamudyak Karabanjo Medang, Wanganutron Lokora Murup, Wanganutron Obeat Murup, Wanganutron Medang Murup, Wanganutron Bumudang Ba Alame Medang, Wanganutron Woywudang Ba Alame Ba Medang. Natni Du. Hello. My name is Jordan Kumara Edwards. My skin name, Kumara from Arrernte. I belong to the Kiwi Rodong, Pik Rodong, Wathaurong, and Arrernte language groups. We meet here on Bunjil's country. I pay my respects to the sky spirits, the water spirits, the land spirits. I pay my respects to the Bumwadang and their ancestors and their country. I pay my respects to the Woiwurrung and their ancestors and their country. And I thank them all for being here and allowing me to be here. And I thank all my elders and all the elders that are here today. I also Wanganutron Alameen Barmedangs that raised me. All my people since colonisation has screened for treaty, and now the chance is finally here. But I feel the lack of love for this process. I feel the lack of distrust in this process from all of our community. I feel the lack of blackness in this process on all levels, including holding this meeting in this chamber. A meeting of this magnitude should have been out in the scrub, in the bush, on country. But I understand that we are taking this place back. There's another conversation is where we were going to have it, but I think that should have been up for all of us to discuss. I also see the hope in this process to finally make a change for our people, but only if we eliminate everybody's egos and self-agendas. We are not government. We do not have to act like them. We do not have to be like them. When we start to put our laws and our culture as equal and ahead of the colonisers. Nat Nidu, thank you.
Braz, I get a little bit tingly watching that. I'm sure for some people in the chat, they have never seen that. A pretty monumental, pretty powerful. I'm sure for people in that room would have, I mean, some of those words in that particular environment would have never been said like that. I mean, getting right in there and telling people like, we don't even want to. We would prefer not to even be in this spot. Yeah. Explain what was going on then.
It was just, everyone was kind of saying it. Everyone around, we shouldn't have been holding it here. Or, Jace Kelly put it in a big email to everyone. He's a Northwest member, and proud muddy man. And he made a big email saying, I refuse to do this meeting here, and he goes, instead I'll go to William Barrack's grave for the first day. So it's deadly, it's good, but nobody else knows because you only sent it to us, so we couldn't get that message out there. It was like, well, I'll go in there and, because everyone keeps saying it, but no one's really saying it, to everyone. And as I stuff it, I'll just go in there and rip it up. So it was pretty powerful. And then having language in there. Not too many people spoke language. There was a couple that spoke a bit of language, but to have language spoken both. That was a mix of like Wathaurong and Pequodong. So to have language, at the very start was pretty powerful, and it's good for that chamber. It's good for everybody else there to realize language is not dead, and we're still young fellas like me, trying to improve it. So it was pretty special. It was a pretty cool feeling.
What's the process at the moment? Are you still involved with the First People's Assembly, and how's that going, and what's the expectations, and can you explain what the First People's Assembly is and why it's formed and your involvement with it?
So the First People's Assembly is a group of 31 members from all across the state. And we represent our communities. I'm the Southwest representative, so my area goes from Werribee River all the way through to the SA border, including Ballarat, just Duckin, Horsham. So pretty much go all west, and it's trying to get treaty here in Victoria and doing a treaty with the Victorian government. And that process has been on board since I was about 15. Hard conversations where government are actually interested in having these conversations for about, I was about 15, so coming up to 10 years,
right.
9 years now. Prior to that, we had been screaming for it since about the 1930s. But this is the first time the government actually really, really interested to sit down and have these conversations. We're doing it with the state. It's the states only have a small bit of sovereignty. It's not the greatest and strongest treaty, but it's at least there's a conversation somewhere until the federal mob want to step in, which I think now that we've got a new government, I think they will want to have these discussions definitely. So, we're right now doing all the frameworks to embed a treaty within legislation. So no matter what government, they can't really back out. So we had 3 mandates. We had treaty negotiation framework, which is kind of like the rules of everything. Treaty authority, which is going to be like the umpire between each individual clan, mob, language group, nation, and the state, and to hold people accountable, made up of all Aboriginal people. So that's a really big, to hold the government to account that's a really big thing. And then the self-determination fund, which is all about all the funds and where that gets allocated and how that gets allocated. But on top of that, we also started the Yuluk Truth and Justice Commission, which is a pretty powerful thing. They've had some issues at the start. They're all a completely separate entity. I got no inside info on them mob, but they do. When they start to get rolling, they have an amazing power. Of a royal commission to start getting into this government and telling them, you need to give us the proper justice, and this is how you do it. So pretty cool. But they've had some issues, so hopefully they can clear that out and then get stuck into it properly. But that's what we're doing now. Just building the rules, building the umpires, building the money side of things. So it's very pretty cool.
It's big. It's
massive.
It's big. It's real big, hey?
Yeah, massive. I mean, we've been talking with mobs all across the world who I never thought, they would even know blackfellas existed, So it's been massive. Been massive conversations.
Is there other frameworks that that work in that space that you're talking about that you're drawing, I guess, knowledge from? I'm a bit green with all this stuff, but
yeah, I mean, well, there's different frameworks all across the world, but in Australia, we actually do have a treaty. The federal government have a treaty with the Torres Strait Islands over water. There's a half treaty with us and Papua New Guinea, with the Torres Strait Islands over water and water rights.
right.
So that's also cool to know that there is a treaty here in Australia.
Wow.
But it's about water, over in the Torres Strait Islands. So, there's those type of frameworks. There's things. We're pretty, you could say, lucky or unfortunate in Victoria that we have 3 different systems. We've got the Traditional Settlement Act, the Registered Aboriginal, parties, and native title groups. So we kind of have 3 different legislations. So the Heritage Act is under the wraps. 3 different legislations that kind of cover these areas. So there's things out of those 3 that you pick apart. I wouldn't take any of them as a whole and be like, yep, that's really good, because they're not. There's some pretty dodgy things in all 3 of those things, but there are certain parts out of it that's like, you can transfer that over. So we've picked those apart. we look at other mob systems all across Australia, see what they've got, see how they've done business. Then you look all across the world, see what they've done and see what you can pick apart out of there as well. So, and every other state's looking at us to see what we put down, so then they can be like, "Yep, that's pretty crap. We'll do our own thing, and we'll mold it our own way." So that's pretty cool. If when we win, everybody else wins because they can improve it, and then we'll just adapt ours to, if South Australia, New South Wales get a really good one because they've molded it from ours, like, oh yep, we just need to re-up it to suit theirs, so we're all on the same level. So no, it's good. It's been a really awesome experience to be a part of, and to be a part of it at such a young age, from 21, or 20 I was, to now. Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
It's amazing, man. You've done some pretty wild things from people's, naive minds, and I know when you went up on Arrernte country, because you're an Arrernte man getting initiated. Can you talk a little bit about that? I noticed the bone through your nose at the speech that you just did then. Is that related to Arrernte ways, or is that more stuff here, or how does that fit into culture? But also, I know we're not supposed to talk about initiation in depth, and I'm sure you will not tip over that line, but what can you share about kind of the decisions that you're wearing the bone in your nose, and also your time being initiated on Arrernte country?
So I got pierced with a bone, with a kangaroo bone, but what I actually wear is, we call it chittak, which is a river reed. So it's what we wear through the nose down here. It's a Victorian thing. It's a Gunditjmara and Kulin, Central and Western District thing. We would wear that piercing. It was just pure back then. It was purely for fashion. It was everybody else was wearing it. It was like, yeah, sweet. You were kind of weird if you didn't wear it.
Right.
So I wanted to get that, purely to revitalize that ceremony here and get more fellas through to do that, and women, because it was men and women that did that piercing. Trying to convince my sister, I was like, yeah, you should do it. You've already got it pierced, so you know how to stretch it.
True.
But so that's what is down there.
Sure.
I can't talk about anything, initiation wise up home, Alice Way. But to go through initiation was a the last person in my family was my great grandfather.
Wow.
My direct family. That's because he only had a daughter, and his other son. He had 3 boys, but 2 were adopted into by him. They had all been through. So they were my close connections. But and actually, one of my chores is, my ceremony brothers is actually my great grandmother's brother.
Wow.
So to be my chore, that's pretty amazing too. Because we're honoring that family, our families. But it's a great grandfather on mum's side, the last person.
It's a big gap.
And then on dad's side, it's probably another 3 generations back.
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah, pretty special.
Aside from yourself and the gap between initiations, is initiations being practiced weekly, monthly? Is it is it still happening right across? I know you can't speak on behalf of north of Arrernte country, but it seems like it's a little bit. It doesn't happen as much down south, and correct me if I'm wrong, in Koori country here on Kulin Nations, but it seems like it happens more, and knowing Carissa's family as well, and Yindamu and further up north, all through the middle there. Is it happening often, or did you have to kind of ring up and order it in and everyone have to prep it up, or is it happening quite often? Or I mean,
those, I can't really speak on anybody else. But yeah, they have their own business, and
Yeah.
but yeah, not really down here. So that's why it was good for me to go up that way. Yeah, I can not bring the law back down here. That's not what it is. That law stays up there. That's desert law. But to at least talk with some of the old men down here to be like, look, what can we do to revitalize it down here in some way, shape, or form? I've been talking with elders from New South Wales and South Australia, who are our close neighbours. How they, either keep or revitalise theirs, and how can we exchange those cultures? But yeah, so
Yeah. Can you? I'm aware that you came back quite depleted. How long were you away for? Can you talk? Can you say how long you went for? How long was initiation? I mean, there's a little bit of preparation beforehand. Can you give us any
I
insight?
mean, it just ranges, but I can't say how long. But
Sure.
it just ranges each time, and each community is different. So
I love it. The mystery. It's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Like it really is. I mean, I've been on some walks up on Yindamu country, and I'm not allowed to speak about it either. It's really hard because you want to talk about it because it's pretty powerful stuff. But it's amazing to see your little boy. What's he doing? Is he eating his Nutrigrain? Is he finished?
Well, I can hear him blowing on and screaming around, but yeah, I think they're still having a good feed. But I hope so. I hope they've eaten when I get off. So
some people. I wanted to bring some light to little Mundurra and his ways that he's found on the internet. Not everyone makes it like Mundurra does, and there's certainly more viral. But everyone watch your screens right now. You may have seen this little fella dancing around, and people close to Jordy and Lily and their family have already seen this. But watch your screens right now, and this is the wonderful result of what teaching children their culture looks like. Mundurra! Hey! Did you know he had that in him when he'd done that? Had he been doing that around all the time? I mean, it really went viral. Your cuz shared it and the whole world's seen it. Were you surprised that he could pull off the whole from start to finish? He's been doing that for a while.
yeah, you're on play school.
You went on play school?
Yeah,
When were you on play school?
I'm on play school, I said.
Is it coming up? Have you seen yourself on play school already?
Yeah.
Whoa! Why was you on play school?
For that dance, for NAIDOC week.
Wow, I played it. Mundurra. How old are you, Mundurra? You 5, 4, 3. 3. And what do you like about dancing?
Do you like dancing?
Do you like dancing? Do you dance like mum or do you dance like dad?
It is something.
You dance like dad. And whereabouts are your boomerangs?
Where are they?
In the car.
In the car.
In the car, ready to go. Ah, so cool.
You went viral, didn't you? All over, everybody, yeah.
It's so
Everybody
wonderful.
went and seen you dance, didn't they?
Lockie reckons he dances like uncle. You dance like Uncle Lockie or Dad? Who's a
Dad.
better dancer, Uncle Lockie or Dad? Dad. Who's a better basketballer, Uncle Lockie or Dad?
Uncle Lucky, yeah, she said it.
It's so good. It's so good. Lockie, good to have you on the chat line there, Braz.
Go back, Mum.
So wonderful, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on this morning. I know we had a fair bit to kind of talk about and jump around. I just want to let you know, Braz, you're a deadly fella, and man, I remember playing. I seen you. A lot of people know you from when you were a little fella, and you've grown up to be a pretty cool dude. But I mean, in the spaces that you're walking around are mind-boggling. It's a credit to you to get yourself out there and putting our culture on the map, bros. It's good.
No, thanks, brother. Yeah, no, you know, Mundurra, yeah, going viral was a really, yeah, it was an amazing experience. And to know that we've been teaching them properly and yeah, having culture and everything that we do is something that, you know, I'm incredibly proud of. Yeah, we want to say hi to Lakura? Yeah, my daughter.
already did.
Oh, okay.
I already did.
You know, it's everything. You know, to our sport. You know, with the whole Westwick Eels. You know, and trying to get that up and going even more so. You know, to my work, to football at Belmont, who's had a partnership with the Wathaurong community for 40 years. You know, which Pop, made sure that didn't go under. You know, Dad and Uncle Mark, the current president and vice president. Lockie has been a head coach. Here's Lakura.
Hey! Hey, little one.
You say hi?
She talker? Yo, yeah. So good.
So
Yeah,
just
true.
everything that we do is make sure that culture, you know, is embedded, and it's just because it was illegal and yeah, demonized here. So to make sure that that word is spread and culture is spread throughout is definitely a mission to do. So now I'm loving life right now. Yeah, me and Lua in a really awesome place. What we're doing. We're currently pregnant with our third. So
wow.
We're just flying. You know, there's so many things going on. Treaty space, Wathaurong space. Westwick Eels, everything. I'm loving it.
Good time to be alive, eh?
Yeah, that's it, Russ.
Wathaurong's thriving. I love it. I think I came back at the right time. I let you hold down the fort for 15 years, and I'm back, baby.
Yeah, and Geelong is such a.
It's good,
Geelong is such a special place. And our side of Melbourne, they're all invading this space now. All the kids are.
They got a little taste. Braz, I'll let you go, man, and jump on the helm as Dad. I appreciate you, man.
Easy, brother.
We'll speak to you soon, eh?
It's good to see you.
You too, Braz.